Good afternoon and good morning from wherever you are. Welcome to yet another edition of the Bangalore K Community Meetup on Knowledge Management and AI. This has been put together by Mixer.world, MXR, and the Knowledge Management Global Network, KMGN. This is our third such global virtual meetup for the year. We had two earlier on February 18th and April 15th. We are now on June 17th, followed by August 19th, October 21, and December 16th. As you can guess, these are on the third Wednesday of alternate months, and we look forward to welcoming all of you to our session today. Those of you who've not been to Bangalore yet, I must tell you that we have some amazing advantages here. A lot of educational institutes in technology, management, science, R&D clusters from industries across the board, global capability centers of some of the top companies on the planet. In addition to large companies, we also have lots of startups, venture capital firms, entrepreneurship support organizations, incubators, and accelerators. A lot of talent, the world's second largest hub for AI talent, for example. A lot of art, culture, music, food, microbreweries, and along with all this success also comes potholes, pollution, traffic, and maybe that's a topic for another session on knowledge management for civic well-being. Anyway, today we have a very good session put together by our team. The Bangalore K community has been up and running for more than 20 years. As you can guess, over the last 20 years, we've seen lots of change, both in terms of technology, business models, and policy. We started, for example, in the era of Yahoo email and e-groups, gone on through search, Gen AI, social media, and so on. Also seen the rise of crowdsourcing, co-creation, the startup booms, personal knowledge management, and so on. Today we have some outstanding speakers. I'm very pleased that we have speakers both from Bangalore, other parts of India such as Bombay, and other countries such as Thailand. We have with us today Talshyn Tokyzhanova, postdoctoral researcher in knowledge management at the Institute for Knowledge and Innovation Southeast Asia. She's joining us now live from Bangkok. Also with us is Prakash, chair of the KMGN board, Padma Bhamidipati from Infosys. She's the AVP and head of education branding and learner experience at Infosys. She was formerly the principal of KM branding at Infosys. And with us also is Rudolf DSouza, CEO of InKnoWin Consulting, who's going to be talking about the winners of the Mike Awards for Knowledge Management. I mentioned earlier that this is Bangalore. We also have some amazing startups who are coming up with all kinds of AI products and tools which are being used by larger companies to improve enterprise knowledge, workflow, and other aspects of the enterprise. We have with us Manjunath, who's going to be presenting on behalf of Sampati Agentic AI. That's a startup he has founded. We will also hear from Premkumar Jagadeesan from AgentZee and Tushar from SetMyCart. I'm also pleased this time to welcome Sinchana Heggade, who's an investor from WarmUp Ventures. She'll be talking about the investor outlook on AI, the outlook for enterprise AI startups, and how companies can work with AI startups in this space. Speaking of startups, we have over 200 pitch decks online of startups in AI and other domains. If you go to our website, mixer.world/pitch decks, you can see all these startups and see what's happening in the last several years in the space of AI and knowledge management. So, with that, we come to the beginning of our innovation conversations. The format that we use is called the innovation conversation. We begin with what's new, how well does it work, and how do we scale this? So we'll begin with pitches by the three startups I mentioned. Then we talk from investors and corporates on how well does AI and knowledge management work in these days. And finally, how do we scale this up? How do we collaborate with each other to improve the advantages of AI and knowledge management? Just a few words about myself. As a KM consultant and author, I've published a few books on knowledge management and innovation. And we also have worked with the KMGN team to put together the Mixer book stage and the KMGN book club in the form of a series of author dialogues. We already had one author dialogue last month in the month of May with Tom Davenport, best-selling author of books on KM and AI. We also are having up four authors, hopefully Ganesh Natarajan in July, Noel Russell in September, and Ross Dawson in November, talking about their books in the space of KM, AI, and knowledge work. Now the hard work begins. How does AI actually work? How does it help knowledge management? How can KM and AI work with each other? We're going to begin our session now, and I'm going to ask my co-founder, Vinay Dora, to take over and make a few welcoming remarks. Over to you, Vinay. Thank you.
Greetings, everybody. I hope you can rename yourselves. Those of you who have joined using Madan's special link, please do rename yourself. And just a brief about Mixer World. What we do is we are an enabling platform, a hybrid media platform that works with a large number of ecosystem players, incubators, accelerators, angel networks, and a host of other partners One of the things that we also do is, apart from working with multiple uh, stakeholders, we also work with large conference brands from around the world. We do plan funder, founder delegations, and a few other engagement activities around flagship activities. We also build in-house tools that enables people to get feedback, inputs, review their pitch decks, create content. In this AI era, we are creating a lot more tools to make it much more seamless for stakeholders who participate virtually and physically at events. We work on various programs. One thing that we do really well is we partner with various enablers. So we support global programs across the world, North America, Southeast Asia, GCC, European nations, elsewhere. This is the next upcoming activity. Next month, we are taking delegations to Mysore as part of the Big Tech Show. We are working closely with the Digital Economy Mission. So we have the Big Tech Show, which is happening at the Infosys campus. It's a physical event. The previous day, we have a roundtable, a masterclass by Madan, and we are also planning a sort of a networking retreat. Mysore is known for its wellness and ecosystem. So we are also planning a networking event with other stakeholders. We're also running a cohort in the sustainability AI space. We are working with partners like Seed Council to make this happen. And we have, if you go to mixer.world, you'll find a lot of pitch decks, you'll find testimonials, you'll find that upcoming events, past events. You'll find some sort of inputs from other global entrepreneurs, ecosystem enablers on how we have added value to them. And we have a few delegations planned, so you're more than welcome to join us. With this, over to the ecosystem team. Here is our email. If you have any inputs, please do write to us at brand@mixer.world, and you can also check out our calendar. With that, back to you, Madan.
Thanks so much, Vinay. Let's now turn to our startup sessions. We have three founders who are going to share with us what's happening in the world of agentic AI, other kinds of AI, and in the corporate world. So let me invite our first speaker to come to the stage online. Manjunath GN is the founder of Sampati Agentic AI. Manjunath, you have 5 minutes, and then we do Q&A afterwards. Over to you.
Cool. Thanks, Madan. Let me share my screen.
Yeah. In share, you have to go to window. Not Chrome tab. Go to window.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. Is it coming?
Okay.
Or should we go to one of the other pitches?
Yeah, I think that's better, Madan. I'm not able
Yeah,
to.
okay. Apologies for the glitch over here. Let me ask Premkumar to come on stage online. Premkumar Jagadeesan from AgentZee. Prem, you can share your screen. Prem, are you with us? Okay, do we have Tushar? Tushar Vadera from SetMyCart?
Yes, Madan. Hi, I'm here.
Tushar,
Morning.
you can go ahead and share. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, sure. My screen is visible.
Yeah,
Super.
go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. Thanks, Madan and MXR World for giving this opportunity. So basically, what we are essentially doing is we are making agentic AI bots for consumer brands. Imagine bots running your business, for doing the marketing, doing voice shopping, and the entire e-commerce management. That's what the company is into. A very quick background of responding to myself, Tushar Vadera. I have around 18 years of experience. I've completed my general management program and very active in the startup community space. work with hundreds of startups across the country. She is my co-founder. She's also a serial entrepreneur. We did, Mercer International, the third generation of focuses on tech and product. So our customer segment is consumer branch, primarily non-metro cities who are stuck. Their challenges are that they are stuck in a particular uh, stage, unable to go beyond that territory or scale, primarily because they are using either manual processes or the old age tech. What we are essentially focusing on is just special electronics and lifestyle, and there are close to 50K such brands which are existing in India. And on the other side, we have more than 400 million online shoppers. Uh, the root cause which we are working on is, leveraging AI to automate all the processes what we do, either using some tools. What we have essentially done is formed a family of AI bots, call them, be it your online commerce management, billing, selling, way you order on Amazon, way you shop on Rapido or Zap. Any business can launch this kind of platform in the future and take their business online. AI handles everything, be it your order management, be it your shipping, the inventory processing, as well as handles
Tushar,
this.
Tushar, you're sounding very garbled. Maybe you could put the video off. We can't hear you very well at all. There's a lot of crackle in the voice.
Okay, okay. Is it better now?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, okay. Sorry. So I was saying that we have this family of bots called Mia AI, and the AI bots manage everything for your business, be it managing the sales, the operations, the inventory, everything, and it sends you alerts. Imagine a Chat GPT or a Claude kind of solution for your business, which is just for you. Uh, what we are essentially doing is profiling, uh, recommendations, learning cross-brand purchase pathways, and measuring the buying trends and accordingly helping these businesses. Till now, we have done a GMV of around 15 CR plus, working with close to 1,000 brands, more than 20,000 plus, and 3.5 lakh plus orders. Some of the key brands are listed here. And we would have lots of integrations with our tech, to make it seamless for brand owners. Uh, we have a 3C growth strategy. We call it channel partnerships, community, and content. Um, so we are also building a community of consumer brands called Bharat Brands Community. Um, it's a very simple SaaS subscription pricing. A plan of around close to 35,000 900 a year is our best selling plan. And in terms of next 1 year roadmap, we would want to reach uh, to 1 million ARR USD annual revenue and reach close to 60,000 plus accounts and also go international. Already started getting good leads from other countries. So we are right now in the process of taking it further. We are currently raising a round of around close to $400K, for which we have already received some soft commitments and we're looking forward to take it further. Thank you so much for your time.
Great. Thanks so much, Tushar. Unfortunately, the connection wasn't that good. We lost some of that, but maybe in the Q&A afterwards, we can come to some of that. Let me turn to Manjunath now. Manjunath, are you able to join us now and share your screen?
Yeah, I'm going to give it a shot.
Yeah.
Hope you are able to see my screen.
Yes, we can. Thank you. Go ahead.
Cool. Okay. Hi everyone, my name is Manju. I'm the founder of Sampati AI. Sampati in Sanskrit means wealth, so I'm here to kind of make some wealth for myself and also to make the D2C founders more wealthier. So that's what we are kind of trying to address. So we are into Agentic AI revenue intelligence platform for e-commerce. So we have intelligent layers, agentic workflows, and the monitoring engine. So I'm going to talk about this in detail as I move along. So the entire the D2C space, when I look at it, and when we look at their online space, and each and everything from search to GPT and ASO, they work in silos. I mean, the things that gets into the app may not get into the GPT optimization. The things that is into the website or the desktop bit may not even get into the app. So we are trying to create that middle layer wherein the middleware will come and ask that will hold the single source of truth. Optimization happens on all the channels that I just mentioned, and that's where we'll be able to kind of get that delta of revenue merely just creating that middleware to kind of make three channels kind of talk to each other. And another important thing is the entire in the desktop, we have multiple layers from catalog, search, GPT, content, intelligence, UI, UX, tech, etc. So most of the things are broken. And as we keep on building the D2C brands in this particular environment, the scaling the D2C brand itself will be a problem. And there will be a revenue leakages. The revenue that they are supposed to achieve may not be able to achieve. Forget the revenue they are supposed to achieve based on the potential. So we are here to address the revenue leakage and help them in a path to achieve their revenue potential through our intelligence and the agentic workflow layers. So the product, as I told you, has two things. One is the intelligent layer, another one is the agentic workflows. So we have opportunity intelligence, which talks about their market size, online competitors, benchmarks, discoverability across catalog, SEO, GEO, content, UI, UX, tech, ASO, and entire assortment. Then the processes, the experience in terms of their content and UI, UX. Then there'll be unified scorecard of all the gaps. And the best part is whatever gaps we are saying, we'll be able to kind of optimize through our agentic workflows. So just imagine the work that could be kind of done in maybe 180 days or a course of 6 months can be done in 50 to 20 days. So you are putting on a path ahead of your competitors, especially the D2C founders, and they'll be able to kind of go ahead, optimize, stop those revenue leakages, get in and achieve those potential. And the best part is the monitoring agent. What it will do, once we complete every sprint of optimization, it will go and tell the founders what is the delta they achieved. It will tell the e-commerce heads where are the miss in terms of catalog. It will tell the heads of marketing what's happening across their revenue, average order value, and everything that is associated to it. And it happens 24/7. That's the kind of monitoring agent we are going to set across the e-commerce channels for a D2C. So splitting it across, a quick view of what the platform consists of. It has a catalog intelligence, a search agent, geo agent, content, UI, UX, tech, assortment, and ASO. So from a waterfall model, we look at the potential, then come through very deeper in terms of all these 8 layers. And that's where we are going to make sure the website is 99% accurate, the discoverability higher. The higher discoverability will lead to a better revenue potential and stop the revenue leakages. So as a overall e-commerce, I'm showing you the big numbers, but the below the slide, we have those 13,000 mid-market and enterprise D2C brands across India and US. So that is my target audience. That's where my TAM sits in, and that's what we are here to kind of solve their problems. Then the competitive landscape, I mean, from overall, someone who is managing end-to-end from intelligence and the multiple layers that I mentioned, there is no one. We are playing in a niche that way, but I might have the pillar competitors, meaning from a search point of view, I might compete with Href. Then I might compete with somebody like a Passion Fruit Labs from a GEO point of view. So, but the bringing in all the things which are in multiple silos together and kind of putting them on a path to achieve their potential, I'm not seeing anyone. And that's where, after working with large D2C brands and marketplaces from past 5 years, I jumped in to kind of start my own kind of a product to kind of achieve that particular commerce growth for D2C brands. Who are my targets? Mid-market and enterprise. We are not talking to the small to mid-market at this point of time. Someone who has $5 million to $100 million, we kind of put it as mid-market, and those enterprise brands which has $100 million and above. So in India, I can get 5 to 700 those in terms of mid-market, and US 15,000 plus. And the D2C enterprise brands in US around 200 and 5,000 plus. Overall, these 20 to 20,000 is what I can see as my first part set of target, which I want to kind of go ahead and conquer towards it, right? So where do we fit in? I mean, are we enterprise platform SaaS, mid-market SaaS, API platform licensing? No, I mean, we are into managed AI optimization. It will be a single connector. They connect onto their website, the intelligence layer, the gaps, everything will be come through, and the orchestration of the agent will happen across multiple layers, from cataloging to tech to UI UX and everything put together. Then the deployment will happen through the APIs without manual intervention through agentic workflows, and the monitoring agent will start looking at their entire performance and start reporting in a way the founders wanted. So there is a kind of $3,000 to $15,000 on an average. We see around $5,000 coming in per customer, and that's what we are seeing in the respective markets that we are working at this point of time. So, I mean, we have kind of tried it and tested on confidentiality basis. I'm just putting some of the brands out here. The moment we kind of implement, as I mentioned, we'll be able to kind of help you optimize the 4 months or 6 months work within 15 days. In those 15-20 days, we are seeing a 10 to 15% delta of revenue coming in, up to 40% over a course of kind of 60 days. And the entire implementation pace will be going at around 5 to 10x, and the revenue will be kind of going at around 3.5x, 3 to 5x, right? So we have all the respective case studies that we have worked across, success stories, which have kind of made it happen. We are on a stealth mode from past 1.5 years, working across all these large brands across the globe, not just in India. And that's where we kind of pitched in to kind of solve this one of the most complex problem, I can say, in e-commerce industry. So from a product roadmap point of view, we have a revenue intelligence engine which we are building now, and the agentic workflow will join in the month of September. Between year 1 and 2, we want to have the monitoring agent that is going up and running. Then we want to create our own proprietary AI infrastructure, and we should have the global command operating system for the e-commerce coming in to the picture. Now we are into D2C brands. Going further, we want to kind of conquer the marketplaces. That's where those huge 15 lakh, 20 lakh, 1 crore, 2 crore SKUs are sitting in. So we want to kind of start with D2C and kind of expand to marketplaces as we move along in next 6 months. So I myself, Manju, and I have 20 years of experience globally managing the entire marketing portfolio, not just the search. Worked for Comscope, a Fortune 100 company based out of US. I used to manage 140 countries, kind of a overall search operations for Comscope, along with the marketing portfolio I had. And last 5 years, I am into the e-commerce industry, managing the marketplaces like Flipkart, Amazon, Myntra, Nykaa, Tata Click, Celio, Just in Time, and all these companies. I have with me as a chief technical architect is Nagesh. So Dr. Nagesh holds a ISE PhD. He's a PhD holder from ISE Bangalore. Worked across the large enterprises from Satyam, iGate. He was a part of the leadership team at HCL. Over 30 years of experience. That's where we are here to kind of solve the mid-market to enterprise problem to start with, and that's how kind of Nagesh has come in to solve the enterprise problem together, addressing the challenges of e-commerce. Along with that, we have 8 to 10 people who has on an average 10 years of experience who have been in the e-commerce industry, and we are building Sampati together along with them. So the kind of revenue path I have for next 3 to 5 years, so I'm expecting around 800K to kind of $1 million coming in the very first year. And just to let you know, we just started the operation. I'm just 1 month into the operation. I have kind of an annual contract ARR signed with companies. I already have 2.5 crores revenue running in and 265,000 US dollars revenue already kind of into my books. And so achieve another $8,000 over a course of another 10 months. I don't think it will be a challenge. We'll be able to hit 1 million plus over a course of 1 year. And that's how the revenue path goes on from 3.5 million, 10 million. And maybe next 3 to 5 years, we want to be in $50 million ARR. And if this is kind of looked into more from a D2C lens. If I bring in a marketplaces and all those large enterprise marketplaces globally, then I think I see an opportunity to double maybe after 3-4 years once we have the mature product running into the market. So from a funding point of view, I'm kind of looking at a seed round of around $2 to $3 million, and the milestone is to kind of work along and get my product roadmap kind of maybe 6 months ahead. We are planning to have the monitoring agent, couple of things that I mentioned, maybe a year based on the way that we are going now. With this funding will help me to kind of get that product roadmap much earlier earlier, meaning the same GTM, the product market fit, everything can happen much faster, and I'll be on a path to kind of get that $1 to $5 million over next 18 months. So that's how I'm looking at it. So not just for the e-commerce industry, the pain point kind of has across the industry, from BFSI, fintech, healthcare, travel, hospitality, and real estate. Our focus for next 1 year is more, I can say 95% will be into the e-commerce, and maybe who knows, there might be some good opportunity that opens in the other vertical as well. So I'm just keeping my option open and see how the kind of industry moves, how the kind of a product moves, and how it gets validated up the
Great.
industry, but huge opportunity across the sectors. So this is what we are, and I'm here to turn your revenue leakages into autonomous growth. And thanks for the MXR world and Madan and the entire team for providing me with this opportunity. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Manjunath. This is very impressive. You've combined three threads: your domain knowledge about e-commerce, along with your talented team in AI and an entrepreneurial mindset. So instead of working within a large company, you set up your own firm and are helping other large companies use AI in this context. Very impressive. Thanks, Manju. Thanks. We'll come back to you with Q&A afterwards.
Thanks.
Looking now for our third presenter. Do we have Premkumar here from AgentZee? Prem, are you there? If not,
yeah, Madan. Yeah,
yeah, you are. Yes, Prem, go ahead. Yeah. So
Sure.
go ahead. 5 minutes. You got a presentation to share.
Sure.
We can go to share a window and then share your presentation.
Okay.
Yeah, we can see it.
Sure. One sec.
Yeah, you got 5 minutes.
Sure. One sec. Okay. So what we are building is, we are building an AI agent platform for D2C and mostly B2C brands. So it's a multi-AI agent platform. We have text, voice, 3D avatar agents and other stuff. For example, our agents can be deployed into various channels, for example, website, WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, to automate the initial discovery. And also it can, for example, if it's a service business, it can directly book an appointment with the respective system for hospitals or maybe any service owners. If it's a product business, it can suggest the product, collect the payments, all the other things. Then do we have a voice agent? Our voice agent can be used both for inbound calls as well as outbound calls. With respect to Indian context, on the outside India, we handle at the moment inbound calls. Then we do have a media agent, which will help on the content creation, UCG videos and other stuff. Analytics agent, which will get integrated with various analytics platform like Google Search Analytics, Meta Ads, Google Ads, then analyze the performance. Then finally, we do have a 3D agent, which can be used to interact with customer, answer the customer queries, can be deployed into website, WhatsApp, website or as a physical device and other stuff. These are our text agent looks like for example, when a customer comes in, we literally show where they are coming from, what all channels they are using, what's the conversation. We show the heat map, how many conversations happen. Then we'll pull the qualified customers and then push it into a lead system and then show it to the end users. Then we do have a calling agent. In the calling agent, we can set up a campaign and then roll out the campaign to all the customers. For example, if somebody, for example, if you have some special offers going on and other stuff, you can roll out to entire community or your existing customers, depending on the use case. Then we do have a media agent, which can be used to generate business related image. For example, if you wanted to list down on Amazon, or maybe if you wanted to post daily on a Facebook or other stuff, you can use our media agents in order to create the content. Then we do have analytics agent. Using that, you can select a particular platform and then give a prompt what data you would like to analyze. Maybe for the founders, every morning they get up, they know how many ads have been running, which of them is giving a better performance, all those things. This is analytics agent. Then with respect to pricing, our pricing is like a 3-tier pricing. Starts with $25, $50 and $100. That's the pricing. We predominantly focus on the small and medium businesses. We have text agent, voice agent, analytics, media. It's a credit-based system. For example, typically in the market, either they just build one set of agent, the credit cannot be transferred. In our case, if you buy one credit, you can be used across various use cases. This will be very helpful for the small and medium businesses. Myself, Prem, I'm the founder, and we do have a technical team of 15 members here at Coimbatore, and then we run the operation from here. At the moment, we have launched a product 3 months back. We are having like early traction. We have close to 100 free users, 25 paid customers. Like we have a revenue of close to $2,000 at the moment. We are in the early stage. We are planning to scale up in the next couple of months. On a nutshell, this is all about us. Yeah.
Very impressive. How big did you say your team was?
It's a 15-member team.
Excellent. Wow. And you got clients across the country and some
Yes,
overseas.
yes, we have clients across. We have got a couple of bigger brands, like for example here, I haven't prepared the.
That's okay. But you're based out of Coimbatore. Very impressive.
Yeah, we are based out of Coimbatore. We have, this is one of the investment platform based out of Bangalore. We have deployed it for them to schedule the meetings and other stuff. This is again a big apparel brand in Chennai, Naidu Hall. We have deployed for them. Like for example here, it will suggest the product, recommend, then for example, if they didn't buy it, we'll send the WhatsApp notification. We have a whole workflow automation. We have a whole CRM in place. That's our unique thing. For example, every lead in our analytics, if I just go to our dashboard itself and then show, this month alone till date, we got like close to 1,200 plus inquiries. We are processing a lot of leads. We have a dedicated CRM dashboard on how many leads comes into our system, how we process them. Also, we give a Kanban dashboard so that customer can track the whole sales process. It's not just like an end product. We just don't give the AE to them. We also give a old school way of analyzing the data so that they know what metrics, what product are really getting sold and other stuff. We have a workflow automation in place, which is similar to N8N. You can do a lot of, other than whatever you couldn't do it with the manual text bot and other stuff. You can do a lot of workflow automation with our platform. It's a mix of everything. Then within the chatbots, we have like a flow builder. You can either have a text bot or multiple different variant of bot and a lot of other features as well.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Premkumar. We'll have some Q&A maybe afterwards after the sessions are done. Thank you so much for joining us from Coimbatore. Now let me turn to our investor on the panel. I'm going to ask I'm going to ask Sinchana Heggade from WarmUp Ventures to give us some of her inputs on how do investors see this whole AI space? How are startups and corporates working together? What does it take for a good partnership in the AI space between companies, investors, and so on? So, Sinchana, you're with us?
Yes.
Yeah,
Hi,
there you are.
Madam.
Great. Hi. Go ahead.
Hi.
You have 10 minutes. Yeah.
Yes. So great pitches. Congratulations to all the founders who pitched first. So, and thank you, Madan, for giving me an opportunity to speak. We as investors speak whole day with a lot of founders, have a lot of opinions that we have formed over the years. And I would love to share all of those with all of you here today. So a little bit about my background to begin with. I have been in the industry for 4 years now, and I work with WarmUp Ventures, and we are an early stage fund. The very early stage fund we are. Pre-seed, seed is what we look at. Our check sizes range between 5 to 8 crores per company. We've invested in 25 odd companies so far, and we're actively deploying. We're India domiciled fund, and we only invest in India registered companies. So this is a little bit about the fund. About me, I've always been very, very curious about the private markets as a space. So built my career through and through in this space only. And 2 cents about AI would be that when internet first came in, everybody thought that any company in the world would become an internet company. Same happened when mobile came. Everybody thought we'd become an app first, mobile first company. And over the last 5-6 years, what we've seen is every company wants to become an AI company. But over the years, we've realized that if that is the right approach, or is there more to it, or should we just build wrappers over our existing technology, or should we do more of it? So as investors, when we also delved deeper into it, we found a couple of things. Then just 2 cents about what we have seen is that 3 years ago, a lot of founders used to pitch me with AI-powered chatbots. And then 2 years ago, we used to see people pitching a lot of co-pilots. And today, everybody is pitching agents.
Sorry, Sinchana, you have ZZZ on top of your, is it an emoji or something that you put?
I'm not sure. Let me check. Okay. Maybe I'll stick to this. Yeah. Is this better now?
Yeah. That's perfect.
Okay. Okay. Going back, huh? So now everybody is pitching me with a lot of agents. Maybe in another 3 years, nobody will even mention AI. So AI, in my perspective, every other company have to develop some or the other infrastructure with AI and not just built-in wrappers around them. The first wave came up with a lot of softwares where we saw ChatGPT grow, Cursor, Perplexity grow. But what I feel the Indian startups should concentrate more among these softwares would be with foundational models. But here again, the caveat is that the capital requirement is enormous, the compute required is enormous, and the data required is super enormous. And very few companies in the world have been able to pull this off. In the second wave, this is where I think I am more excited about, and India has a lot of potential. That is AI replacing labor. We have always been a service oriented country, but now with more and more AI integration, I think replacing labor for all of the repeated tasks should become simpler, and that is where Indian startup founders should focus more on. In the third wave, we've already started seeing this AI meets the physical world. AI meets the physical world, be it in manufacturing. This is where I'm personally very, very excited about. Energy, of course, the government is putting in a lot of initiatives to do this. Skill labor, be it blue collar inside country or exporting of blue collars. So all of these, I feel AI has become truly transformative. And the second two, the AI replacing labor as well as AI meeting the physical world, is where I feel there is a lot of white space available. So the first software layer I feel is already a lot of commoditized, and it requires a lot of funding to achieve something there. And what I am seeing at WarmUp Ventures or any other VC seeing in the AI is also similar grounds to what I've told. And maybe I would love to see companies that are building proprietary data sets, proprietary workflows, or there is some distribution advantage. There is some deep domain expertise among the founding team, and not just integration with API. So something proprietary that they have developed, a model that they have developed, they've taken the data sets, cleaned the data sets. So all of those proprietary workflow is what I would love to see if somebody is building in an AI. And what are the few sectors that I'm personally tracking? One would be AI in healthcare. Very, very impressive, be it in drug discovery, be it in point of care diagnostics, or be it in making the doctor's lives easier. So all of these, I think I'm super excited about. Second, as I already mentioned, manufacturing. So I've been looking at a company that's trying to retrofit in all of these textile machineries and IoT device that helps them to figure out if the garment is being manufactured right. So yeah, in manufacturing, so all of these traditional industries, the dhanda industries that we are known for, I think that is going to get massively disrupted by AI. And then third one, of course, would be AI in enterprise workflows. Here, the disruption has already been happening on a larger scale, but a little more adoption maybe is possible still. So these are the three sectors that I am personally tracking. And what are the key points that I look for in a company's, like I've already mentioned before as well, those points. Apart from that, maybe I would love to see the ROI that these companies are generating for the enterprises that they're working with. So how do I evaluate any company? Like I mentioned, ROI. And then second most important thing would be how are they integrating into the existing workflows? So any enterprise, bigger clients, their CRM, their ERP is already very fixed. So how fast can you integrate to that? I think that is one of the major differentiating factors. then if the startup is actually solving a real pain point for especially enterprises, the sales cycle is super hard and they only adapt if the problem is big enough for them. And also pedigree of the founders, distribution, like I mentioned, if they've already sold to enterprises. And third, last point would be market is evolving at super fast pace. So maybe today their solution might be good, but then how fast can they adopt to different solution? I think that adoption is a very important skill that I would look for. And what are the Indian strengths in this global AI race? One, I would bet on the massive engineering pools that we have, then strong startup ecosystem that we've built over the years, then cost-effective innovation that we're all known for, large domestic markets, and a lot of government support initiatives, BIRAC, and other grants that the government has been spending a lot of money on, the incubation center. So all of those, I think is pushing India towards the global AI race as well. So what are my few tips for an aspiring AI entrepreneur would be to start with a problem statement and first validate that problem statement. Talk to your ICP and figure out if this is an actual problem statement. Second is move very fast. Since the AI is evolving at such a at such a faster rate, we need to build technology very, very fast. And with all of these co-pilots, building technology is not a moat anyways. So we have to start with the problem, validate the problem, move very fast, and figure out your distribution early. Talk to your customers, talk to the problem statements, figure out a GTM internally. And then focus on any proprietary data. You have to start building something that's proprietary for the company. And then we have to start thinking globally from day one. So gone are the days where we only sold for domestic customers. We have to start thinking about selling for global audience as well. So I think these are some of my takes as an investor, but happy to answer any questions.
Thanks so much, Sinchana. You've pointed out some very good tips for entrepreneurs at the enterprise level, and you've also talked about the macro stage, how services and products and the whole Indian economy is shifting over here. Would you like to share any one or two examples, maybe without names, of startups you've invested in and how they are planning to navigate in this particular space?
Yes, so we recently invested in a company that is navigating the older CRMs of all of these bigger enterprises into the newer version of Agentic CRM. So here our major problem was because AI is moving at such a fast pace. Maybe today people are using Salesforce. Maybe tomorrow that might become obsolete. So if these founders are able to cope up with that, that was the major thing we had to navigate, we had to see, we had to talk to people. And that is one of the companies, and mostly all of our investments have been in technology, so AI is integrated in one or the other way. Second investment maybe would be, we've invested in a consumer tech company wherein you can scan your face and understand what is your skin type, what is your problem, and we can go to the nearest dermat and they give us product suggestion. Third would be what I am personally excited is about personalization of the storefront for all of these D2C brands that are coming up. Maybe today I might be looking at a different product, and Madan might be looking at a different product. So we both go to the same website today, and we get lost in a couple of products. But we are moving towards personalization there as well, where I get to see only things that I want to see versus somebody else. So these are some of the investments that we have done, but almost 25 of our investments have been in tech, and some or the other way they're using AI.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for joining us, Sinchana. We hope you can join us again. We have this session every 2 months. So we'd love to have your inputs on and maybe even feature some of your startups pitching in these sessions. That would be terrific. Thanks so much, Sinchana. Thank you. Thanks so much. Thanks. So now we move from the AI and startup space into the enterprise knowledge space. I'm going to invite our next speaker to join us. I notice we've got a lot of attendees joining us from overseas. We have Santosh joining us from Oman. I see some other faces also. Our next speaker is joining us from Bangkok, Talshyn Tokyzhanova is from the Institute for Knowledge and Innovation Southeast Asia, and she'll be talking to us about mapping knowledge behaviors and what are the ups and downs in this space. Talshyn, over to you.
Perfect. Good afternoon. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
Good
nice.
afternoon. We can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Let me then first start sharing my screen and then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can see it. Superb.
You see from the first slide, right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Good afternoon. I hope for so many of us it's good afternoon. I am Talshyn, and I'm so happy to join you today. So the beginning was all about startups, and then I was really thinking how I'm going to present my presentation, which is more on knowledge behaviors, and it's more specific. It's a narrow topic, but I hope that the people who maybe from the startups, maybe you are seeing some of these taxonomies, and then you might get scared. I hope you're not, but then you start maybe taking them as some ideas to put into action in your organizations. So today I'm going to talk about knowledge behaviors at work, and I will introduce you a taxonomy of different knowledge behaviors that we exhibit at work. And I also want to move from, beyond this usual bright and dark framing, because in most organizations, we tend to place knowledge sharing at the positive end and then knowledge hiding or knowledge sabotage at the negative end. This is beautiful, but this also can simplify our worldview. The argument I will make today is that knowledge is both a collective organizational asset, but also a personal possession. And as a result, every knowledge behavior is partly about the organizational knowledge flow, and it's also part about how individuals manage the access to what they know. So, on this slide, you see where I'm coming from. I am based at the Institute for Knowledge and Innovation, Southeast Asia at Bangkok University. If you go to this website, then you can see that in our center, we have variety of activities going on, starting from the academic, scientific research on knowledge management, innovation management, and the creativity. We also hold different corporate trainings, coaching, consulting, events, and then also work with different international awards, especially with the MIKE Award for the most innovative knowledge enterprises. So let's come to the main focus of today's my short presentation. So this slide gives you the broad landscape of that mysterious word that I told you before, knowledge behavior at work. As you see that workplace knowledge behavior is much broader than knowledge sharing or knowledge hiding. So in many organizations, we often talk as if the main issue whether people share or do not share. But if we go to the field, to the literature, then we see that it's a much wider set of the behaviors. Okay, at one end, we have a knowledge sharing, and this is more familiar and usually celebrated behavior. So it includes giving expertise, offering information, helping others to solve problems, contributing with one nose to the collective work. And this is often seen as the ideal knowledge behavior that we all want because it supports learning, coordination, and innovation. But moving across the slides, then we see that knowledge do not always flow openly. Sometimes people disengage from knowledge sharing. They don't necessarily hide in this case knowledge intentionally, but they withdraw from communication. Maybe they do not actively contribute to it. Sometimes people fail to share knowledge because of the ignorance. And here by ignorance, we mean that people may not realize that others need their knowledge or they may not know the right channel to share it. And if we go further, then we can see that we have a partial knowledge sharing, and here some knowledge is shared, but not all of it. And this can happen for practical reasons, as time limits or uncertainty. But it also can happen when people want to keep some knowledge for themselves. Knowledge hoarding is different. So here people accumulate or keep knowledge without distributing. So they just keep collecting the knowledge over time. And there might be different reasons for that. So it might give the knowledge holder some control or maybe job security as well. And knowledge hiding here goes to one step further. And in this case, knowledge hiding happens because someone directly requested it and the other person who knows the knowledge intentionally withholds it. And if going forward, then we can go to more damaging behaviors that we usually organize in the organizational literature, in the knowledge management literature. That, for example, there are knowledge sharing, counter knowledge sharing happens when inaccurate, unverified, or misleading knowledge circulates. And in this case, the problem is not that knowledge is blocked, but that poor quality knowledge is moving. So it can be unverified, it can be misleading. And finally, on the extreme negative end, you see the knowledge sabotage. And this is the most extreme knowledge behavior that we can see in the organizations. Here, knowledge is used or withheld with the intention to harm another person, a team, or the organization. So my key message here is that all these behaviors are not all the same. Some behaviors circulate knowledge, some retain, some distorted, some maybe weaponize it. But before we judge any of this knowledge behavior as a good or bad, we also need to understand what kind of knowledge movement is taking place. And here I am showing you a table that will compare and contrast all these different behaviors. I do not want to read every row, but I want to some highlight the logic. First of all not all behaviors require a request. So sharing, disengagement from sharing, sharing ignorance, partial sharing, hoarding can happen without anyone directly asking. But knowledge hiding, we usually categorize it when it happens after someone requests the knowledge. Second, all these behaviors, they differ whether they circulate or retain the knowledge. Sharing circulates the knowledge. Hoarding and hiding retain them. And the counter knowledge sharing actually circulates the knowledge. But the problem is that, as we mentioned before, that knowledge may be false or poorly verified. And the third final column shows the conventional verdict. So that sharing usually seen as a positive, while hiding hoarding usually seen as a negative. And this verdict is exactly what I want to reopen in our next slides. In this slide, we see that how these different behaviors are related. And first of all, sharing and hiding knowledge, they are distinct, and then they are not the opposites. Less sharing doesn't automatically mean more hiding. Someone may simply lack time, awareness, or opportunity to share, for instance. Second, not all withholding is deviant. So sometimes limiting knowledge access, it protects the confidentiality, privacy, safety, client trust, or strategic interests. Third, sharing can also be harmful, as we said. So, for example, sharing confidential, premature, false, or unsafe knowledge can harm the people or the organization. And fourth, finally, that these behaviors can coexist. That same employee can share in one situation, protect the knowledge in another, hide in the third, and hoard knowledge elsewhere. So we should not treat that this behavior are the fixed personality types, and that these are the situated responses. Here I want to show some of the reasons behind these knowledge behaviors. One reason, for example, the most used one, that is reciprocity, that people usually mirror knowledge behavior. For example, sharing can invite more sharing, or while hiding or withholding can invite in the same return. Second reason is the ownership that in the literature. Usually people may experience, that knowledge is mine, and then as a result, they might guard it as a part of their ownership. Third is the protection under threat or insecurity. People may conserve what they know. And last reason is the motivation. So pro-social motives or mastery climates tend to support sharing, while competition and insecurity can support retention. But here I would like to ask you to notice the pattern that usually all these drivers of these knowledge behaviors are judged mainly by whether they help or block the organizational knowledge flow. And that brings us to the main frame, and I would call it central point of today's presentation. So the field has mostly judged knowledge behaviors from the organizational side. And the main question here has been, does this behavior help or block the knowledge flow? And from this dominant organizational view, knowledge is a collective asset that we all agree, and it should be mobilized, integrated, used for the organizational advantage. And then from this lens, knowledge sharing looks good, but the retention looks like a loss. But there is also less developed individual view that we oftentimes forget about, that knowledge is also personal because it's built through the person's own effort, experience, identity, and value. And from this lens, the person may have a legitimate reasons to manage access to what they know. So the reframe that I would like to offer you here is that knowledge behaviors are not only about the organizational flow. They also reflect how individuals manage access to their knowledge. And then why I am talking all about that when we are in the organizations, when we are leading the organizations, and why this individual lens matters for the organizations. If organizations ignore the person behind the knowledge, and then we say, okay, this is disrupting our knowledge flow, but then we forget about the other side by, just being only seen by the lens of the organization, then it might also create a hidden risks for the knowledge flow. First, there is a trust risk. If people feel their knowledge is taken for granted, they may become more defensive. There is also fairness risk. If sharing benefits the organization but costs the individual, the knowledge flow becomes unequal. There is also retention risk. If expertise is used without recognition, people may withdraw, hoard, or leave. And then there is also governance risk. If everyone is pushed to share everything, then the sensitive knowledge may also move too freely. So organizations should care about individual rights as well, because sustainable knowledge flow depends on trust, fairness, recognition, and legitimate access. The managerial implication is that knowledge behavior should not be treated as a problem, but as a signal. That hiding, hoarding, silence, or partial sharing, they may point to the deeper conditions in the work environment. So they may signal a low trust. People do not feel safe sharing what they know. They may signal unfair recognition. Expertise is used without credit or return. This might also signal a fear of exploitation. Sharing may reduce the status, value, or control of the knowledge who holds that knowledge. And then this may also signal unclear rights, that people do not know who should know what. This may also signal internal competition, where knowledge becomes a way to protect one's position. So managerial move is not to correct the behavior, but it's also to ask what the behavior reveals about the system. And in this case, probably it's a typo. Do not correct the behavior, but thinking about what this behavior reveals about the system on the slide. And let me close this with 4 key takeaways. First of all, I would like to invite that we should drop the moral ladder. We're talking about knowledge sharing and all the other knowledge behaviors. Knowledge behaviors should not be judged too quickly as simple as good or bad. They need to be read through the 2 lenses. Second, knowledge is once a collective asset and a personal possession. So organizations need knowledge to move, but individuals also invest in it. And they also take risks around what they know. Third, the meaning of the behavior depends on the lens and on the context behind it. So sharing may help, but it also may harm. Withholding may obstruct, but it may also protect. And finally, managers should manage the conditions, but not the character of the people. So if knowledge behaviors look problematic, the better question is, what does this tell us about organization? What does this tell about us? Trust, fairness, recognition, access right, and the competition in the organization. And if you have some interested in this knowledge behaviors to learn more. And then here you can see some selected references on different knowledge behaviors. And I also put at the end 2 articles that I wrote together with Professor Susanna Dors on knowledge hiding, different theories used, and then how we see the knowledge hiding through a multi-level lens. Thank you very much for your attention, and I'm happy to join today and learn more also about your experiences.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Talshyn, for a brilliant presentation. I'm seeing some other comments in the chat window. In fact, there's a question coming from Brett. What is your experience of employing this model in an environment where a significant percentage of the workforce are external contractors and not direct hire employees? How does this affect the desire to share knowledge? Brilliant question. In fact, I work with many companies in the offshoring sector, outsourcing sector, and many of them are going to be replacing employees in a larger company towards another offshoring client or a contractor. So a lot of people just refuse to share knowledge. So how would you work in these kinds of situations where it's in the interest maybe of the company for employees to share their knowledge, but the employees don't want to share their knowledge? So are there some carrot and stick kind of approaches, or what are you seeing in the literature so far?
Yeah, that's indeed a great question, and that the field is also moving forward, and of course, then a lot of the knowledge that we have about knowledge sharing is mostly about the organization, where the organization main value is seen as the knowledge as the main competitive advantage, and then it's usually seen as the core, when the knowledge is located within the core of the organization, but not from outside contractors are coming. In this case, I think here we can see that the desire to share the knowledge is also not only about the desire to share the knowledge, but then also the desire to include this person inside of the organization, right? Then we come back to the classical question of belonging. We come back to the classical question of how this contractors see themselves, and do they, for example, have a organizational ownership or ownership where they feel that this organization are their part of them, and then this is also the main point of my presentation, is that in most of the times in knowledge management we see that knowledge is here, and then let's just move it from the system to the another system, but we don't see that this is the a core diagnostic of the health of the organization. That when the knowledge is hidden, then it is the symptom then that something is not happening. Maybe the employees, they don't have a belonging to the organization. Maybe these contractors, they don't have a ownership over this organization. And yeah, I think it's a pretty fascinating topic. And then I would say it's one of the knowledge gaps that we don't have a lot of studies on, how knowledge hiding between in and then out people, working and connected.
Very good, Talshyn. Thanks. I think Brett also puts thumbs up on that response. My question for you is more about what is some of your work in the AI space. You talked earlier about some of the AI startups. I think a lot of AI startups and companies are looking at the analytics part of the knowledge equation, which is more of data from transactions, consumer data, e-commerce data, and so on. Some AI companies are also looking at explicit knowledge, so content repositories, enterprise social media, and so on. But that's where a lot of the issues you talk about come in, which is AI can only work with whatever has been documented well. But for issues where employees are not documenting their stuff, then what are some limitations that you see for AI systems, and how can AI engineers maybe tackle some of these along with knowledge managers?
Yeah, that's the main topic, right, that we are discussing so far. First of all, there is also the when we're talking about, for example, human to human knowledge sharing, then there is already a lot of the issues that we are facing on, and then there is also human to AI knowledge sharing as well. Whether the humans, us, we are interested to share this knowledge with AI, and then also at the end, by making ourselves under the risk of layoffs, and also maybe reducing the value of us in the organization. And then there is a big hesitation on how people are transferring this expertise. And as a startup developers, of course, we are all optimistic. Yeah, of course, now we're gonna change all the knowledge management, and then all these people are going to share their knowledge, and then, but in reality, it is the issue how we human and then we see as AI, and then as a result, I think the people's fundamental advantages over the AI, and what are those? How we can make sure that the people will stay as a human, and then their role, as their dignity, their all their experience are valued as much as we could. And all the second issue is, of course, with this explicit knowledge, it's maybe easier because already all the companies have all their knowledge base, and then the tacit knowledge was the hard problem. So I don't really see that AI is changing here, because already before the AI, before these technologies, it was difficult with the tacit knowledge, how it's incorporated to the workplace. And then with the AI, I think we are coming again with the same problems with the classical situations and then solutions.
Right.
So I
Thanks.
feel just the stakeholder AI as just a stakeholder, as as any technology, as anything.
Yeah, you're right. I think that's where AI is hitting a wall. It's not able to reach the kinds of knowledge that it would be great to have, but it's a very complex social, human, and a personal equation. So thanks, Talshyn, for bringing out this personal angle in knowledge sharing in such an elegant framework from your research. We look forward to some of your future sessions as well. Thanks, Darshan. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's now turn to Ved Prakash from the Knowledge Management Global Network. Ved, over to you to give us an update on what's happening with KMGN and what happened in the last 2 months and what's happening in the next 2 months. Ved, over to you.
Yeah. Thank you, Madan. So let me quickly give you a brief on what KM Global Network is all about, because I do see a lot of new names and faces over here. Right. So KM Global Network is I'm the current chair of KMGN for this year. And for those of you who have not heard about KM Global Network, it's a network of KM networks from around the world. It has been in existence for last 12 years now. We have 23 networks in 38 countries who are part of the KMGN community. Our mission is very simple: making collective impact through knowledge management. And the vision is to bring prosperity to organizations and society through knowledge management. How do we carry out our vision and mission? Is through multiple projects, events, activities. So every year we come out with a plan as to what are the various things that we'll take up on top of what the networks are doing individually in their own respective regions and countries. So for example, in this year, we are focusing on Industry Knowledge Management Wiki, where we are looking at creating the KM needs and requirements for individual industry sectors. Right, something not which is generic, but very oriented towards the industry. So we have started with the oil and gas industry. We'll move forward with other industries as well. As part of activities, we carry out a KM Global Network course on an annual basis. So the beauty of this course is that it runs for 6 months. It's a certification course, and it is completely curated by professionals of KM Global Network, by the members. And they are experts in their own rights in multiple domains of knowledge management. So this year, for example, we are at the fag end of the course. We started in February. We are going to end it later this month with 22 different sessions. So it was about the strategy and impact of KM. That was the overall theme. So every year we have a different theme, and then we decide on the topics that we'll carry forward. Then we have something called the KMGN Research Community, which meets every alternate month. I'll shortly talk a bit more about some of these projects. We have something called KMGN Author Dialogues, Know Your KM Tech, which basically familiarizes us with some of the technologies that are popular in the knowledge management domain. Then some of you may have heard of this ISO standard 30401 for knowledge management. So as part of this year's initiative, an upgraded version of the standards are going to come up, and we'll release a toolkit for the same. We have started a new project on KM for sustainability, where we are looking at accumulating all the knowledge that is around climate change as a specific domain within sustainability. So there is a lot of very good resources, but they're scattered all around. So as a KM project, we have taken up as how do we bring them all together? And then I'll also talk about the KM Global Week. Now, coming to how do we connect with each other? So we have multiple these events that you are looking at, and we do these are very, very participative in nature. So different professionals from different networks and countries volunteer to come and take forward some of these or join these projects. Right. We have a presence in LinkedIn, and here's the QR code. I'll share the link in the chat window as well. And a lot of events that we carry out, we record them. A lot of them are virtual events. We have our own YouTube channel where we have different playlists for different activities that we carry out. So the whole idea is around bringing everyone together, collaborating with each other, and co-creating a lot of new knowledge in the area of knowledge management. Okay, so this is in brief about KM Global Network. With respect to what we have been doing in the last couple of months, I just talked about annual course called KM in the New Era from Strategy to Impact, which is ending this month. And we'll be hosting the recordings in the YouTube channel as well. Once the core course gets over and the certificates are issued to the participants who have attended all the 22 odd sessions. In the KMGN research community, so the third meetup of the year was held on 11th of June, so just 6 days back. And the theme was from job site stories to reusable know-how. And it was led by Patrick Fong of Griffith University in Australia. So here in the research community, we get people who are interested in the research aspect of different topics to come together and discuss on that. So Patrick first gave a talk on job site stories to reusable know-how, and then the others participated in sharing their own insights on the topic. Know Your KM Tech as a event is basically familiarizing the knowledge management professionals with the leading technologies being used in KM. So we had the second session of this on 21st of May, taken by Andrew Wright from Melbourne. So the topic was how to use Copilot on SharePoint for KM use cases, where Andrew actually showed how Copilot is being used within SharePoint for a variety of different use cases like auto tagging and creating the summaries, etc. Right. We'll be having the next one on Agentic AI in KM. So that is yet to be announced, but you will be seeing notices around that. Then the KMGN author dialogues, and this is something that Madan also touched upon. This is something that Madan himself anchors. The first session was held on 27th of May with Tom Davenport. He's very famous for his working knowledge book of 1999, which really set the knowledge management discipline in organizations. We have a couple of more very focused on KM and AI. So one is with Ganesh Natarajan, where he released a book very recently on AI Took Your Org Chart, the rise of responsive leadership in the age of machine. The date is yet to be finalized. And then there is another book that has come out very recently that was in April called The Knowledge Flow, Designing High Performance Organizations by Nagyub Chaudhary of the World Bank. So we are hoping to get him as well as part of KMGN author dialogues. Then we have something called Videocast with Mike Award winners. And the first one is being recorded with Afcon's Infrastructure, who have been a global Mike Award winner for the last several years now. And finally, let me spend a minute on the KM Global Week. So KM, this is something that was initiated 3 years back by KM Global Network after seeing that there is no single day where we celebrate knowledge as such. You have many different days commemorating many different things. Like, for example, you have the International Women's Day or an International Chocolate Day, but there was nothing called an International KM Day or a Knowledge Day. So we started with talking about that internally, but then we said, why restrict it to a day? Let's make it a complete week. So it's a worldwide initiative led by KMGN in which people across countries, organizations, networks, universities, and communities organize multiple activities that increase awareness, practical understanding, and engagement with knowledge management. So it's held in the third week of October, and we just had the kickoff meeting for this year's KM Global Week on the 3rd of June. So I invite all of you to actually consciously organize some knowledge related activities in the third week of October and let us know so that we can include it in the list of things that are happening. So it encourages everyone, the members, the participants, to do more and more with knowledge management. We talked about knowledge sharing that was just talked about. So this is also a celebration of knowledge sharing and collaboration. So that in brief is an update on KMGN. Back to you, Madan. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Ved. You mentioned that Agentic AI, it's a course or it's a talk that's coming up?
It will be more like a demo session just to
Yeah.
show how agents can work in the context of knowledge management.
Fantastic. Great. We look forward to that as well. Thanks so much, Ved, for all those updates on what's happening in the world of the Knowledge Management Global Network. Let's turn now to our next speaker. Our next speaker is Padma Bhamidipati from Infosys. She's the AVP and Head of Education Branding and Learner Experience. She was earlier the principal of KM Branding at Infosys. You're going to be talking to us today on talent transformation in the AI age. Padma, over to you.
Thank you, Madan. A very good afternoon, and it's always a delight to talk and listen to friends over the last 20 plus years in the KM space. You see, when we are talking about AI, I think it becomes very important for us to step back and say, what is it that typically an enterprise would do? Because when you come in and wear the hat of a systems integrator, or you're sitting here and talking to multiple clients globally, the first thing is to, of course, focus on what we are doing for our own employees, making sure that they're right on top of the competency curve when it comes to AI or any cutting edge technology as well. But when we are talking about this in the context of knowledge sharing, I think it was only fair that I get an opportunity to talk about what we are doing so that we are able to make sure that this AI skilling happens not just at scale, but also impacts societal talent. And that's where I'm going to take a few minutes. I wanted to avoid any kind of slideware because it's that time of the afternoon where the speaker can either make you rush for a cup of coffee or tea or keep them rooted to what you're doing here. So I'd rather just walk you through that and then give you a show and tell of how it pans out for us. At Infosys, we've always looked at when we thought about starting off on the AI journey that we should be a live enterprise. We should be one that's walking the talk. And true to that, we have layers of how people should be familiar with AI. The very base of it, the foundation of it, is where we are all AI aware. That's a language that everyone should know. Everyone should be AI literate. But it's not just in terms of what courses you're taking and appreciating, say, prompt engineering or hallucinations, etc. But it was also understanding the impact of AI in the specific domain. Not everyone is a technology player. You do have folks in procurement, you have folks in finance. It's important for us to understand where AI is playing a role. So across Infosys, you have the most foundational layer of AI knowledge, which is AI aware. Then, as we start moving closer towards technology and how products and platforms are being infused with AI or need to be made more robust with agents at work, it becomes important for us to be able to get on board builders. These are folks, these are technologists who are not just appreciating AI, but really working at the cusp of ensuring that current offerings have the relevant AI layer, infusion, and most importantly, impact as well. So that's where we have a few thousands of folks who are AI builders, and they are the ones who are augmenting and offering the current, not just technology solutions, but even human interventions. Then comes a very, very niche set of folks, which is masters. Now, that's a good 25 weeks of curriculum that somebody has to go through. And that makes them, at the end of it, a part of a very specialized squad that's literally going to swoop in. Think of them as a SWAT team that's going to come in, help take the entire project or the offering into a very niche space in the shortest possible time and in the context of the client or the community in question. So you've covered a large part of the organization already. You have a foundation, you have specifics when it comes to technology players. But for us, it was always a top down approach. And AI for leaders is extremely critical. Very few leaders today are shying away from practicing or having an immersive or a hands on experience when it comes to AI. And that reflects in the way they are not just coaching themselves, but learning and taking it forward. So that's the basic premise with which Infosys, over the last 3 years, we started off as an organization on our AI first journey in February 2023 to be precise, on the entire journey. And today, when we look back, the model has pretty much remained the same, but the people benefiting from it have changed largely. Now, if you thought that doing this within the organization was easy in some way because there is an organization mandate, I want to take this opportunity, and Madan, with your permission, I'd like to share, the screen to be able to bring in uh, the platform that we have over here. And I'd just love to go ahead and share my entire screen. Please do let me know if you're able to.
Yeah. It's coming now.
It's coming now, right?
Yeah, there it is. Yes.
Yeah. So this is our societal talent platform, which is called as Infosys Springboard. This is literally a reflection of how we would learn on our own internal platform, which we've codenamed as Lex. We offer it to clients under the brand name of Infosys Wingspan. Now, why are we walking through this? Because it's important for me to demonstrate what we have just talked about as AI first learning to even the experience that somebody would have when they get onto a platform like this. So, for example, when we are here and we are looking at what this platform has been doing in order to train folks, ideally, this is a good representation of how a typical digital platform would look like. But what's important is for us to make sure that when we are bringing in content over here, the content is always a reflection of what folks would want to learn. Given that we are an IT organization, a primary set of courses and content and partnership, you will see here, there are AI courses from Udemy, who's one of our content partner. Skillsoft has been with us for a very long time, and they have brought in a lot of their content catalog over here. And the best part is that this is available free of cost to every citizen where this is offered. Currently, Springboard is offered in the geographies of India, Australia, New Zealand, Philippines, Europe, UK, and the United States as well. And you can access this content and platform completely free of cost. But it's not just about the AI catalog or the AI training that you have. It's also important for us to be able to make sure that the learning experience of the individual is also infused with AI. So, for example, we are here, we are talking, we're gathered together, courtesy, Madan, and everyone in this knowledge sharing space to appreciate and learn what we are doing. But it's not always the case when it's a professional or a societal talent at work. You have to make sure that they're actually coming together and they are sitting down with the intent that whatever they have started as learning should be completed and closed as well. So, in a self learning format, you need a little more than grit and determination to finish what you have started. So, what does the AI tutor do? And we've codenamed it as Zoe. You can choose your learning style when you're in the self learning mode. So, for example, I'm trying to appreciate front end engineer as a topic. There's a lot of questions that is bothering me, but if I am someone who is either up at 4 in the morning trying to learn or sitting up till 12 midnight and beyond to learn, I don't think there's going to be another subject matter expert who is going to give up their sleep just to help me get the clarifications I want. So we've created this entire chat interface that allows you to be able to go ahead and get the explanations that you want in a format that works for you. Does storytelling work for you? If Socratic works for you, or if active recall methodology works for you, whatever suits you and whatever shoe fits, that's the way we would want the learner to pick and choose in terms of how they should get more clarity on the topic. A lot of us have grown up looking at flashcards as a very primary base for helping us get inputs. AI does it for us now. Most importantly, sometimes there's so much of information, the TMI is really, really true when it comes to learning. It's important for us to have a very handy chatbot that will go ahead and summarize all of it. And needless to say, glossary as well. The number of jargons that are being thrown at us continue to evolve with every passing minute. And the glossary, which is a part of this particular course, helps the individual get absolute information which is pertaining to this content only and not anything else in terms of what the FIFA match with Ronaldo would look like later today. So when you think of competency building, when you think of how AI is going to take it forward, it's very important for us to sit down and appreciate in so many ways that a learner can get baffled and overwhelmed, that we have to taper it down for them. We have to make sure that we are giving them what is important. Last but not the least, which is extremely important from again a perspective of where we make all of these points meet, is the fact that you must be able to give them an opportunity to go ahead and implement or have a hands-on experience for all that they are learning. And that's where it becomes important for us to be able to give them lab access, test, try, immerse themselves into it, make mistakes in a safe environment, so that when they are going out and planning and getting the next job with is highly AI infused, they go back with a lot of confidence in terms of practicing it. And at the end of it, the light at the end of the tunnel is in terms of jobs. So this particular effort that we have created also makes sure that when you're thinking of skilling a talent in the societal space, you're actually not just going to leave them with a set of skills, certifications, assessments, etc., but also connect them to the jobs at hand. So, in a nutshell, when we think of the way skilling has to happen in today's day and age, where AI is becoming so prominent, it is critical for us to be able to make sure that this links not just to knowledge, but also to the application of it. And in the process, we are able to actually bring in assessments and the natural feel of how the individual will perform in a live environment, which could either be a corporate or any other professional space. So that's what we are doing. All of us have a long way to go, and sometimes we feel we are back to square one at the rate at which technology is evolving. With that, I'll pause and I'll hand it back to you, Madan.
Madan, you're on mute. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Padma, you said you started in 2023. That's fantastic that you've come so far already in 3 years. What are some of your plans and roadmaps for the next year or couple of years?
So, Madan, honestly, as an organization, we are always very fortunate that Nandan is at the helm of it to guide what we are doing. And, we saw so many conversations stem up even during the India AI Summit as well. And it was interesting that since you mentioned the future, but it's important for me to just pause and talk about another community that today benefits largely from AI, and that is those who are on the fringes, as much as I hate to say it, those who are visually challenged, those who have a lot of other impairments. Now, the reason I'm emphasizing on that from a societal space is a corporate is going to do what it will do. But the ability to take what happens in an organization and zoom it out for a larger benefit is important, which then brings me back to what are we doing at a corporate level? Number one, the workforce of, I think nearly even today, we do have a workforce which is humans plus agents, and skills is something that's going to keep us all together, not just the skills that we talk about in Claude and other places. I think it's important for us to constantly keep checking the horizon as to where the future is going. And for us, at least from an Infosys standpoint, to be able to constantly look at making the human in the AI feel far more precious than ever before, because the context and the entire conversations are coming in from human. So we are definitely scanning technology, but from a competency standpoint, we want to make sure that we never lose sight of the human element in this whole technology mix. Again, you're on mute, Mother.
There's a question in the chat window. Can you share some links, or maybe just tell us what to search for, and we'll use Google and figure it out. So we should search for what? Infosys Springboard AI courses?
I'm going to put this. No. I'm going to put this link as is in the chat, so that if you're in India, please feel free to go ahead and access it. And we are doing a whole lot of things, including having taken a bus and retrofitting that with a 3D printer, labs, etc. Because most of the time we only again think of what can happen in wonderful places like the Bangalore's and tier 1 cities. But this bus, and I'm sure a lot of you would have seen in different parts of the country, if not the world, travels to tier 2 and tier 3 cities to be able to take these opportunities to those in the Mofussil spaces as well.
Wow. I think many people didn't realize this is for everyone. It's not just only for Infosys in India, but anyone.
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 Thanks. Thanks, Padma, for such an
Thank you so
inspiring
much.
session.
Thank you.
Absolutely brilliant. We hope you stay on till the end of the session, which is another half an hour. We have Rudy next talking about the winners of the Mike Awards. I think Infosys was the winner of the Global Make Awards multiple times in a row. So we'd love to see where that's going now. So Rudy, over to you. Rudolf DSouza is also from AFCONS, who is one of the winners of the Mike and Make Awards. And he's going to share with us what are some learnings we can all take from India winners of the Mike Awards. Of course, there are many Mike Award winners across the world, but let's begin by zooming down on first the one from India, since we are talking about Bangalore today. So, Rudy, over to you. You got 15 minutes. Thanks.
Thanks, Madan. I have shared my screen. Can you see the slide?
Yes, we can.
Yep.
Okay, so what I've done is that I have put my thoughts together on what the three winners from India for last year are doing, and so this is AFCONS, Cognizant, and Kalpataru. AFCONS and Kalpataru are from the infrastructure and construction field. Cognizant, as you know, is in the IT services. So it is an interesting to see what they do and how they do things. This tip actually summarizes what they do. At AFCONS, it's about people first. Okay. At Kalpataru, it is sexy to say AI. So actually it's tech first. So I put in AI out there, but you can see they are using AI technology also. And Cognizant is now purely AI driven. So this is in short, I've just summarized quickly what the three companies focus on. So let me take you through AFCONS. So when I talk about people, the first thing is that everything is business aligned. So they are very clear that it has to deliver business results in terms of productivity, in terms of margins, in terms of faster execution, because AFCONS is known for taking challenging projects and delivering them on or before time. Now, the infrastructure project sector is known that 70% of projects normally have an overrun on costs and time, but AFCONS is trying to change that paradigm. And slowly, other companies using tech are trying to do the same. So, but AFCONS focuses a lot on people as well as tech enablement. And until 2017-18, all reports of tech adoption showed that agriculture was at the very bottom of tech tech absorption. Construction sector was a little above it. So they were the laggards as far as tech enablement is concerned. But slowly companies are using tech. But at AFCON, the first thing is that it should be a business enabler. And secondly, there are a lot of strong knowledge processes that involves people's time or their investment in time. So you have the learn before, learn during, learn after, and there are 15 different activities that are done for capturing, for storing, and for sharing knowledge. And this is very people intensive. So they even have experts who will actually do the facilitation of the lessons learned session. They'll have other experts who will check and validate the content. They have a lot of campaigns for contributing towards culture and a lot of communications. So there's a lot of knowledge flow that happens in different formats. And of course, talent management is now part of the entire equation. So when I say that it is people first, today they are also looking at technology. In fact, Jaidat, who heads knowledge management, is now the Chief AI Officer. You can call him that is the designation of AFCON. So they are using now, they're trying to use tech to enable these people processes. They will not replace people, that is a philosophy, but they will use people and tech to enable them to do better as far as knowledge management is concerned. Then we come to another infrastructure company, Kalpataru Projects International. They are also in the field of construction, and these are large infrastructure projects, etc. And they are proud about their tech enablement. So even when they did a recent presentation here at this platform, they spoke about tech-based initiatives, and knowledge management platform has been one of them. Okay, and they now use AI to, especially Gen AI, to summarize large documents. And when you look at their knowledge management portal, they have an actual general AI, Gen AI features. So you can ask through the AI feature, and you have a Gen AI curated responses also. So they are one company who is now taking the lead as far as technology is concerned. They are way ahead of the other construction companies in India as far as the use of technology is there. So you can now see slowly the value chain is moving up in this field. When we had been to Hong Kong for the awards 2 years back, they also had a hall of technology, and they were at the cutting edge. They were talking about digital twins, etc. We were happy to see a number of Indian projects were featured out there. AI was pretty new at that time, but they were use of digital twins. So we saw a number of Indian projects were actually featured in that, you can say, an exhibition or a museum run by the government for the construction sector. And then finally, let's talk of Cognizant, the third winner. They have what they call a three-vector approach to AI-driven enterprise transformation. So they, and Sharmishta had made this presentation at Bangkok as well as I think at MXR also some time back. And they use AI for enabling hyper productivity. So this is something that they call it a cognizant flow source. And like Padma was pointing out, here there are 230,000 people who have been trained on AI. We have 10,000 user cases that have actually been deployed. Then they talk about industrializing AI. So up to 2030, this is really their key strategy. So they want to have multiple autonomous agents. Now imagine, unlike what Padma said, they want to reduce human in the loop requirements. So this is a dichotomy, you can say, between Infosys, the philosophy between Infosys and Cognizant. You can see it actually out there. And agentifying the enterprise by 2030. So this is really, I thought I'll just give you a quick flavor of knowledge management, what these three winners are doing. And just to summarize, it is people first, AI tech first, and AI driven. So Madan, I hope that in a nutshell gives you an idea, especially since this is a mixer event. I said, let me focus a lot on what are the philosophies behind the three companies. All of them are actually doing a lot of work in terms of, driving lessons learned and other things, but this was something that would interest everyone.
Fantastic. Thanks, Rudolf. Are you done with a cold or a cough or something?
I had.
Oh my God! Yeah. Get well fast. The world needs you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Quick questions. Given how much you know about the Mike Awards already, maybe I'm going to ask you in a future session to talk about maybe 3 Mike Award winners of some other countries or some other sectors or something like that. But what are some things we can take away from these 3 case studies? Are there some examples here from leadership point of view, or maybe the positioning of AI with KM with AI, or maybe in terms of the kinds of technology and tools approach? What are some lessons that
So
we should be
one thing that is becoming evident is that you cannot avoid technology, and especially AI tech. And I have actually seen how AI technology actually helps us, because when we talk of AFCONs, we used to struggle to get the lessons learned written up after we had the sessions. But today, when you use AI tech, it quickly summarizes everything very accurately. And it actually uses the terminology. You have to train it, no doubt. You have to train it in terms of, understanding piling, etc. And all. When you talk of piles, it could jump into a different sphere, actually. So therefore, you need to do a lot of training initially, etc. But it quickly summarizes the lessons learned, puts it in the format in which you require it. Secondly, is that if you query your database and you have a good knowledge management database like AFCONS has, it is able to synthesize across domains and pull out documents and then synthesize and provide results. Right now, it is being checked. Everything is being checked so that we don't make mistakes, because in construction sector, you have to be absolutely correct. It's an engineering company after all. So there is still 2 years away before you can actually depend fully on agents. And Kalpataru is another company that is driving using AI technology in their day-to-day work. So they are far ahead in this race as far as technology is concerned. In fact, they invest less on people processes. It's almost nil, and they use a lot of technology. So you can see the dichotomy between the two that is there. Cognizant is in a class of its own, and I don't endorse it or I don't condemn it, because there are a lot of I would put it as they say in the war zone, that these are collateral damage that happens as you go forward in the battlefield. So they're creating a lot of collateral damage as they go forward. So how it's going to help, I don't know. So let's see.
Yeah, these are very interesting times. Things are changing very fast. So
Yes.
unless you actually go and experiment and take a point of view, take a position, you will never know what works exactly for the organization. Anyone else with questions, remarks? Ved, Padma, you want to jump in? In fact, it's now, we got about 15, 20 minutes, open discussion with anyone who can talk about anything. So Padma, you want to jump in?
No, I think I like the way Rudolf put it as, collateral damage. But I think it's very difficult for us to be able to really perceive and figure out what's going to happen. I think a lot of us start our day or end the day just looking at news, which is not just geopolitical, but also coming in from a lot of technology spaces as well. We all were eagerly waiting to start using Fable 5, and then it went. And when you open Claude today, you only see those notes. So I think with so much of advancement in technology, I would think we've never been more confused. Is where I think we are. So we're just falling back on each other. For those who always think that firms are competitors, I think we are really falling back on each other to see what's happening, sharing notes. I'm yet to see another forum like NASSCOM has so effectively created over the last so many years, where people just literally come, pour their hearts out, share their lessons learned, a classic KM case. So very, very interesting times. Everyone's bleeding from some portion of themselves, but I think the fact that we are all in it together just makes sure that collectively we are able to move forward with as little damage otherwise.
Yeah, Padma, that's a brilliant insight. Many people are either scared or even confused. In many big industry forums, I hear top leaders, when you ask them questions about AI, they'll begin by saying, I'm not sure, but I think. So nobody's sure exactly what the answer is. So they're always prefacing it with, I'm not sure, it could go either way, but here's where I stand right now. Ved, you want to say something?
And yeah, one indicator that is coming through the placement results of engineering colleges in India, they hire in big numbers, and the uptake of civil engineering and mechanical engineering or related disciplines has actually gone up. With respect to tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, going up to tier 5 colleges. And when you contrast it with the computer science and information technology hirings, they are at an all-time low. So all the mass recruiters are playing very cautious on hiring them. And even when you look at the GCCs in India, especially from product companies, basically the SaaS product companies, the big ones, there again, there are layoffs that have been happening, courtesy the AI agents coming in. So there is a lot of pressure on some of them to show adoption of AI. It's not that they are just letting go of people. They also have to show diversion of funds towards utilization of AI. And now another dimension has come in that the pricing of AI agents, the Claudes of the world, has changed from what it was earlier, subscription-based to token-based. So that is again setting the companies on a path of discovery. How is the costing of tokens going to affect us? So now they are trying to optimize between using a Claude versus a Chat GPT based on the token cost. So a lot of moving parts are there still.
There's a great question from Brett in the chat window. What's happening in terms of expectation management? Expectations are going sky high about what AI can do or what it cannot do. So, how are leaders, how are organizations setting expectations right about what AI can do in KM, what AI cannot do in KM, what AI cannot do for domains like civil engineering and so on? Any thoughts on this, especially companies who are hiring? I'd love to hear what some of your thoughts are on in terms of expectation management, rollouts of
It's
AI.
a typical Gartner hype cycle. So right now it is at sky high, the expectations. but there will be a trough of disillusionment, and then the reality will set in. But what is simply not debatable is that it is disruptive in nature. It's
Yeah,
really powerful.
that's true. So, did this come up in any of the courses that you talked about, the KMGN courses? How leaders are getting ready to set expectations and so on in
This
their
this
AI
year
stuff?
the
Yeah.
this year the KM Global Network course was about KM from strategy to impact, so implementation. So we talked a lot about change management and how you need to set the expectations, and the use of AI is also. Yesterday in the second last session, Professor Eric spoke a lot about use of AI tech and how it is being perceived, as well as the fact that but his contention is that we don't know where we are going, but we need to keep experimenting, and that's how we will actually learn. So I feel that is really what is happening in the industry, that people are using RAG based um, tools for their knowledge management. Some are using it for actually creating futuristic path breaking uh, methods, etc. But it doesn't stand, honestly, right now, it doesn't stand in the civil engineering field at least. So, but experimentation is on really. That's the only way forward.
Experiment, learn, make mistakes, learn from the mistakes, move on. So yes, it
Yeah.
sounds easy, but it's very tough, especially for I think people getting into the workforce now. These are both exciting times and challenging times. So I did a couple of workshops this week for various management schools, and I asked the students, "Are you all using Chat GPT and all that?" They all said, "Yes, of course we are." Then I said, "Are you optimistic about job prospects?" They said, "No, we are not." So it's a very strange situation of they can clearly see how they are benefiting themselves directly in their personal lives with AI, but when it comes to the workforce, they're like, "Ouch, will my job be there? What kind of job will be there for me when I come there?" and so on. So,
In fact, at all these commencement addresses where people like Sundar Pichai, etc., are going, they are getting lambasted. There are demonstrations, walkouts, there are side hustles going on. You must have read about that. So it's a tough. The moment you mention AI, the commencement class, the graduating class are becoming very agitated about jobs in the future, because what they learned over the last 18 months or 2 years is now almost outdated by the time they're getting into the job field. So that is where it is right now. Everyone's feeling threatened.
yeah, these are the not the best of times, but certainly the most exciting of times for everyone. Okay, any other questions, comments? We got
Yes,
just about
Madan.
yeah, go
Yeah,
on.
Santosh, yeah. I think one of the predominantly what's happening, especially with the management, the boards, what from based on my experience and personal interaction with them, leading several workshops and all. So what's happening is they're all trying out the personal productivity based on AI tools. That is significantly they're able to see a significant, X um, performance and I mean overall, personal productivity is increasing even in the particular work area and also whatever they're doing, right? Unfortunately, people are not able to understand how this can be scaled across the organization. This is where most of the organization are struggling, So yeah, as you mentioned, again, licensing and as is also one of the challenges. And now there's every fortnight there's a new AI tool which is much superior than other. So people are completely there's overrun with so much tools. They don't even understand which tool to use what for what, and that is the other problem which management is presently um, dealing with. So forget about they coming out with the strategy. They're not able to understand the AI landscape. So this is where I'm trying to help them out. Yeah. So this are fundamentally two different challenges. The board and the management is struggling with. I'm talking more from the non-tech industry. Because tech industry is something it's like you're part of you're grown up using tools and it becomes easier to comprehend what's happening But non-tech industry, it's not easy for them because there's a chat GPT, there's Gemini, there's 100, 100 things coming, right? So there's a big, gap between, what the industry thinks and what the, non-IT industry able to channelize and learn, unlearn and then learn. So there's a big gap.
Yeah, that's a good point, Santosh. You're joining us from Oman, right? Good to see you.
Yeah,
Haven't
yeah,
seen
yeah.
you in a
Muscat.
long
Yes,
time.
yes, yeah.
Very good. Thanks.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can see
Yes, yes.
Brett has his hand up also. Brett, you're joining us from Australia, if I'm not wrong.
I'm in New York City right now.
Oh, New
I
York
live
City.
in Virginia, but I live in. Good morning. Just woke up, like literally. In fact, I think your note actually woke me up. Just so you know. Uh,
Oops.
no, so I want to explore this piece part by following my question about expectation management. I am noticing in the KM profession that there is right now kind of almost two factions that are starting to form. One is the we must embrace AI, it's the greatest thing ever, whatever. And then there's the old school, if you will. Humans are more important than hardware. We cannot ever get away from the fact that knowledge is an inherently human activity between humans enabled by cool tools. And where the management sits is kind of in the middle because all they want are results, right? They pay for a KM capability, they want results. And you have the two different sides, one saying, oh, AI is the greatest thing ever, just do all these cool things. On the other side saying, nope, AI is interesting, but AI is a crutch if you don't have good practices, if you don't have good policies. And what winds up happening is that a lot of management, especially on the government side in the US, it defers to what's easy. And what's easy is the magic box that's going to solve all their problems, as opposed to having to actually sit down with people and meet and get on whiteboards and write stuff down and talk to each other and do all of the, if you will, the ugliness of meeting at a human level to share knowledge. This is why I was tremendously taken by Talshyn's support presentation earlier today. That whole span between knowledge sharing and the negative, the hard negative side, and how it's all really gauged by human interaction. How it's gauged by uh, um, your ability, your comfort, your safety, but your psychological safety almost is built into that. AI helps in each one of those things to a greater or lesser extent. Management doesn't necessarily see it that way unless we educate them. So I think there's always a need, while we like talking about tech and all this, and to those students who are very upset about things, how many human to human things did they learn in that 18 months that they can take their technological skill set and apply it in a human to human context? I will bet you a lot of them haven't, and that's why they're frustrated right now. Thank you for listening and have a great day.
Thanks, Brett. That's a brilliant insight that education is a big part of the whole thing. In fact, what Santosh just meant a bit earlier also is sense making. So even before you come to strategy, you need to make sense of what this whole thing is. There's a whole discipline, by the way, called sense making, all about perspective, how to get the right frames, how to use the right language, the near term, long term horizon view, the whole stuff. So thanks for these insights. And sorry, I didn't mean to wake you up so early in the morning, but I think that's WhatsApp. You just plug in something and you don't know who's in which time zone and all that stuff. Anyway, we're almost out of time now. I want to thank everyone for contributing their insights in this very long session, almost 2 hours. We covered startups, investors, corporates, consultants, and everyone from other ends of the spectrum. I'm going to hand over to my colleague Manasvi now for the final vote of thanks and summing up and talking about our next events. Manasvi, over to you, and thanks everyone.
Yes, thank you so much, Madan. Hello, everyone. So, as we conclude this session, I'd like to thank all our speakers, innovators, investors, researchers, and participants for sharing their insights and making this a truly engaging session. A special thanks to our partners at KMGN and to everyone who joined us from across the globe. Your perspectives, questions, and interactions are what makes these conversation valuable. So at MXR, we bring together founders, enterprises, investors, universities, and ecosystems leaders through curated mixers, focus groups, startup showcase, innovation programs, and global collaborations. We help connect ideas with opportunities, people, and markets. Beyond innovation and entrepreneurship, we are also building MXR Book Stage, a platform that supports authors through book launches, podcast conversations, networking events, and community engagement, helping great ideas and story reach wider audiences. We would love to explore collaboration opportunities with you, and whether you're through innovation programs, startup engagements, thought leadership initiatives, knowledge sharing sessions, or MXR Bookstage activities. So my kind request is to scan the QR code, also share the feedback for this session and any other session you would like to take upon. Thank you once again for being part of today's conversation. We look forward to continuing these connections and collaborations with many of you in the future. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Manasvi. I'll see all of you online next month for the Ganesh Natarajan book stage discussion, hopefully, and definitely the month after that in August for our next MXR Enterprise AI session with the Knowledge Management Global Network. So have a very good day, Brett, and for the rest of us, a good evening, a good night, a good afternoon for those joining from Europe. Thank you all. Over and out. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you,
Bye
Madan.
bye.
Bye, everyone.